so welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving my home office an entire room makeover or transformation. And contrary to my other decorate with me videos or transformation videos, my priorities on my office were more on the practical side than the aesthetic side. I am going to proceed and show you right after these shots of me assembling new furniture, some of the issues that I was facing in my office and the state of chaos that it used to be on. I'm pretty embarrassed to show you that, but it's only that way that I can justify for some of the decisions that you're going to see me making in the design of this new home office. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and let's just jump right into it. Alright, so I'm going to give you a tour of my office at the moment. This is my office right now, and you just don't see all of the mess right here in that corner because, I mean, I need storage. Whenever I built in this office, I figure I could have those boxes sitting in there, but over time, there's just more stuff that I need to get rid of and reorganize, but I do need storage. This area right here has this desk that is falling apart that needs to go to the curb, honestly, because it's just falling apart and I have accumulated so much stationery. I have all my vitamins that I take every day. I keep them in my office because I have breakfast in my office when I'm working, so I can have those after just having breakfast. I have filming equipment, tripods. I found my running medals from my races in the garage the other day, and I just didn't want to lose them again, so I put them there. So major disaster here. This is my desk. My desk is also falling short. I have 2 monitors. I have that bag organizer with a lot of my highlighters and markers that I use every day. I have my laptop there because that's my personal laptop to use for editing. I use that in the weekends, and I just have it sitting on the floor because I have no space anywhere. And then I have my rug right here, which I recently washed and I haven't put because I know that I'm going to be doing this huge work in my office. So I haven't even laid. I have to just take everything out, reorganize things, get rid of things, and come up with a better system for storing things because this is truly just driving me nuts. Oh, can we talk about the cables? Yeah, that I hate. So we're gonna fix everything in here and we're going to come up with a space that is nicely decorated but also functional and somewhere where I can keep my stuff organized, because if not, this can get really messy. And in here, I have my office all empty. I just had my desk because I had a few days left out of the week before the weekend before painting the walls. And I was showing you how I patched the walls. And the reason why I wanted to paint the walls of my office is because of that really cool light gray color that it's not very much being picked up on video, but very noticeable in person. And I didn't like that gray. That was the original color of my walls when we moved in. So I thought it was the perfect time, now that I was purging all the stuff in my office and bringing in new furniture, to change the color of the walls. And this is the after. I went with the rest of the current color of my walls, which is Snowbound by Sherwin-Williams. And I had all the intentions to do this myself, but as I was starting this project, I did realize that the ceilings needed to get painted and also the baseboards needed to get painted. And for that reason, I felt kind of intimidated, and I decided to call our painter, and he came and did it in just a matter of a few hours, and he did such a great job because obviously he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. I'm so glad I made that decision, and it looks very, very nice right now. This right here is my desk, and this is a Flexi Spot desk, which is a standing desk, and this I got as part of a collaboration with the brand back in 2023, and I work with them again in 2024, and I love this desk. My only complaint is the top part was running kind of small. Because of the direction my desk was facing to, I couldn't really fit a bigger desk. Now that I'm changing the orientation of my desk, I figure I could just have a bigger top on my standing desk frame and also place the desk against the wall to, number 1, fit a bigger desk, and number 2, hide all the cables that were bothering me so much and were actually a trip hazard for me and my dogs. And for that, I just used this IKEA desktop that I simply attached to the frame of my flexi spot, and that worked really well. And one thing that I knew I wanted to do in this office was to incorporate many different sources of light just to be able to change the mood depending on what I'm doing. And so I went on with this string of lights that you can switch into different colors, and this string of lights you can stick onto any surface. So I'm doing it on the very back of my desktop, and the whole idea here is to create a whole new level of lights and shadows, so I don't have to depend solely on my overhead lights, because that can get really tiring and not cozy at all. Another solution I needed for my office was, of course, storage, and so I decided to get a couple of these Alex drawer units. I place one on each side of the desk, not only to cover the legs, but these will also serve me to store all of my stationery. Then I also got this sideboard from Walmart, and these were the pieces of furniture you saw me assemble at the beginning of the video. This piece was under $200, and I do plan to store my printer and all of my filming equipment in here. All of the clutter you saw on the first shot of this video got purged severely, and so I'm only keeping the very needed stuff and of course all of the books. And you may be wondering, why am I not placing storage units underneath the shelves? And the answer is because it's really hard to come across storage units that are those dimensions specifically. I also came back with my rug that I used to have before. I used to have this positioned horizontally, which was perfect, but now I can't do that because it's gonna be too small for the desk. And so now I have to place it vertically, which I know it's also too small for the area, but with time I would replace it with a bigger one. Now I'm going to go in with my new office chair, and this was such a subject of debate for a long time for me because I like sitting down with my legs crossed on top of my chair, and that would really translate into soreness on my shins, especially because I do like to run and work out. And so I decided to go with this Piper Song meditation chair that I found off of Amazon through another Instagram influencer. Her name is Michelle Graviette, and I think this is an amazing chair. Not only is beautiful, also incredibly comfortable. I'm sitting on it as I edit this video, and I can switch up my positions whenever I have long hours of work. I can cross my legs, or I can just move that leg and sit normal. This chair does not offer upper back support, which I don't need, but if you do need that, I would say do your research before buying it. One thing that I really liked on my previous office was the sconces of the wall. I think they provided so much character, so I am going to bring some sconces back. Not the same one, but ones that I have been keeping for a while. I bought them for my home and I just never got around installing them anywhere, and I thought this was going to be the perfect spot for them. And those are these Z Gallery candle sconces in black. They're pretty massive. I love them. They're so elegant, and we're going to make them into something more than a candle sconce. Then I'm going to go in with these shades that I got off of Target. They're just regular small shades, and I'm going to place them on top of the candle sconces, and then inside that I'm going to use these USB rechargeable bulbs that I got off of Amazon, and this is going to be another source of light for my office. The good thing is that I can change the color of these light bulbs, which if I wanted to turn my office completely purple, I can do that and switch up the entire mood of the space. What's so bad about that? Now I know I needed a big piece of art in between those two sconces, and I happen to have an additional one of these, which these came from the Hobby Lobby Spring Collection of 2024. I happened to buy two at the time. One is in my family room, and I figure I would use the second one in my office. So I went in with the trusted technique of the painter's tape, and I went ahead and hung it pretty high up to make it proportional to the sconces. In there, I was pretty happy because I realized the artwork came out perfectly leveled up, and I know it seems like it's a big gap in between the artwork and the sideboard, but don't you worry, that is not going to be noticeable once I style the sideboard. I shoot in the dark, so I miss my target. It's a time to move on, but I cannot. This picture gallery I had sitting right behind me when I used to have my desk facing the door of the office. And now that I place all that sideboard and sconces in there, I figured I would use the same gallery behind the wall that it's going to be now behind me on my desk. That way, whenever I log into work meetings, I can still have the same background, which I love to have my family in my back. So I decided to, at first, remove one of the layers of the gallery and just leave it shorter, but that's gonna change in just a minute. Also, I decided to go ahead and add a rack for my metals. So very good friends gifted me this metal rack a while ago and I hadn't had a chance to put it up. I figured this corner would be the perfect place. And I know this is not very aesthetically pleasing, meaning all of my metals, all of those colors are going to break with the decor I have going on. But you know what? I don't care because these metals represent part of my identity as a runner. And sometimes you have to have those little details to remind you of who you are and to personalize the space even more. So I went ahead and gave my metals the place they deserve instead of that really sad corner on top of that basket where I had them before. Next up, for practical purposes, I installed this acrylic calendar for the wall, which I plan to update monthly. And this one came from Target from a year ago or so. I was actually going to place it on my previous office, never got around it. And so right now is the moment for that. And just underneath the calendar, I have this little basket, which will help me store for mail that I'm not ready to file yet or stuff that I need to do something with. So this is just for paperwork. Then on my desk, I'm going to go back with my bamboo stand from FlexiSpot, which is going to provide height for both my monitors so I can keep my sight straight as I'm sitting down. I place this mat that I already have, and of course, both my monitors are going to be sitting on top of the stand. Then one of the most exciting parts for me during this whole transformation and a big source of inspiration was these Epo Maker keyboards. And I was heavily inspired in this office transformation by gamers' desk setups. And I thought this Epo Maker keyboard was so pretty. Not only I love the colors, but I love the sound. I also love that you can set up these lights like this, which they can be distracting as I work, but I have to admit they are so pretty to look at and they make me really happy. It's just the little things, you know. Then for my mouse, I went in with this Logitech ergonomic mouse, which allows me to have my hand in a more of a natural position as I'm working. Then I'm going to go in with this very beautiful aesthetic tray that I found off of Amazon, and I'm going to use it on my desk to carry my hand sanitizer, which I always have to have on hand. Then for the wall right behind me, I decided to bring back my little bench and my pillow, and I decided to go ahead and complete the gallery. I don't know why I was thinking it would look better if I subtracted a row of pictures, but I think it does look better with the entire set being complete. Then we have made it to the second most fun part of this video, which is styling this sideboard right here. For me, it was really important to style it. That way I can prevent for any clutter to ever happening again. And for that, I'm going to go with this ruffled bowl, which I used to have on my TV stand, and I brought it in here because I like the subtle Scandi vibe that I have in this space, and I really think this piece complements that style very well. I'm going to place it on one side And then I'm going to go in with this Walmart viral vase, which it was from last year. It's still available this year. I not only love the color, but also the grooves all around the vase really complement that modern Scandi style that I'm going for. I'm going to go in with a couple of decorative books, which I carefully selected due to the colors to match the decor of the office, and those are going to go in the center of both of these pieces. Then it's time to break with a little bit of a different material. I'm going to go in with this marble decorative box, which is also fluted, and it's so beautiful combined with the other two elements, which are made out of ceramic. Then of course I have to add some greenery, but I wanted something a little bit fresh and feminine, so I went in with these Cosmo flowers from Hobby Lobby. They're the off-white kind, and I have shown these in many of my previous videos because I've been obsessed with them. However, I do think these look the best in this space. And this is how this sideboard turned out. It is functional, it is beautiful, and I really like that it follows a not so strict Scandi style, which is what I was going for in this office. And as a final touch, I'm going to add this Walmart lamp with that pleated shade, which is also one with a very nice Scandi style of decor, on my desk for an additional source of light. And this is how my office looks without the overhead lights on. It looks very cozy, it looks modern, but it also has my personal touch and style of decor. This right here is with the overhead lights on, and this right here is if I ever want to just have a different color. I thought the purple looked really nice. And I honestly cannot be any happier with my new space for work. That is going to be everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below if you liked any of the ideas that I gave you in today's video. Again, thank you so much for being here, and without any further ado, I really hope I can see you in my next one. Bye.